today I have a piece with me from Praesidus, which is a company that has military-inspired field watches, particularly focused on pieces from D-Day back during World War II, and it's a brand very focused on veterans and their stories, and to be authentic. They have stories and pieces that tie into real-life veterans who served and who have been through these extreme conditions during World War II. So I have with me the Type A11 Tom Rice. So Tom Rice is an actual person, it's not a fictitious name. His full name is Thomas Marcus Rice, who served in 1941 and was there during Pearl Harbor. He served in one of the most grueling divisions, the 101st Airborne Division, and in the 501 Parachute Infantry Regiment C Company. So this piece tells his story and a watch that he probably wore during that time that looked almost as the one I have today. And it's a proudly assembled in the USA with imported parts and automatic watch. So Praesidus A11. The piece. Let's see the packaging. International warranty. And this is such a cool aspect of the watch. It's an actual dog tag, warranty card with a QR code. And serving the army myself, I have 2 dog tags that were issued to me when I was enlisted, and this is a familiar sight and really cool, I might add. The instruction manual on setting the time, and it uses a NH35 movement. I will get into that later on. Okay, it comes in a very sturdy, thick NATO band. I'll get more into that. So the A11 Tom Rice edition. Product code. So the A11 Tom Rice Black Dial edition with nylon strap. A brown nylon strap that is extremely thick and sturdy, that could withstand the toughest of conditions. And when I was in the army, I remember being issued an LBV West, which has an exact similar color and style and equally thick and almost double stitched to give it that extra sturdiness, as it will be put through quite a bit of testing in the environments that it's set out to explore. Let me remove this. So this is meant to be a field watch, and the story behind this watch is that when Tom Rice was parachuting down into one of the locations where he was meant to be, his watch flew off even before he could land on the ground, and the story of this is helping Tom Rice find his missing watch. So it's also known as the lost watch of D-Day, and it's really not moved away much from the design aspect. It's meant to be a utility watch, a tool watch, keeping it basic, the way it's supposed to be, a military issue piece. Nothing fancy, nothing flamboyant, to the point to do the job. And the applied and it has a black dial with Arabic indices, so it has a clean black dial. So the dials and the numbers and the lume markers are there to ensure that there's high legibility and visibility in low light conditions, which there would have been many if it was worn back in the day. Today it's made to represent that era, and it's kept itself true to the design aspect that I'm really pleased to see that they have kept the design aspect as original as possible, and it's really a tool watch, a military issue style piece, and it feels sturdy and it's not too heavy, and it has great detailings on the style of hands that were used, that were also something that ties into the time era. And a curvature of the glass. So it has a double dome glass in a stainless steel matte finish case with polished lugs to add a little bit more of dimension. A knurled crown, which they have kept completely bare, that's polished as well, and a very simple basic round case shape without any bezel, the way most field watches were back in the day, and it is proudly assembled in the USA. So this piece comes in two sizes, 38 and 42 mm. With me I have the 38 mm, slightly smaller of the two, and more compact and has greater wearability. And as I was mentioning about the glass, it's actually a double dome K1 glass with anti-reflective coating, and this has a water resistance of about 50 meters. So it was meant to be more of a field watch. So if you look at the dial, it has a green luminous big so it has a green luminous numerals, as you can see, with brown luminous dots going across the dial. So there's a nice play of very vintage style colors, and on the outer rim of the dial you have the minutes, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's really cool with a play of matte silver color with light brown lume, which is cool and different, and it uses one of the most efficient and reliable movements, the NH35, which has a power reserve of 41 hours. So onto the back. So the back of the case plays in with how usually field watches that are military issue has, but they've taken their own spin with the company name Praesidus, the model type A11, Tom Rice. As I mentioned, he was from the 101st Airborne Division, and June 6, 1944, the last watch of D-Day. and then automatic movement assembled in the USA with important parts, and the very military-like stitched nylon strap, and a very to-the-point, no-nonsense buckle with one fixed loop and one free loop. So let's see how this piece fits on the wrist. It's extremely rigid. As you can see, it was meant to take on the toughest terrains and still stay intact. So hence this is an extremely thickly woven nylon strap, and it fits really well snug at 38 mm on the wrist. So the watch from D-Day that Tom Rice lost on the battlefield, now being worn by numerous of people around the world, recognizing his great service. Now let's give it a go and see how the loom is. And this is a loom monster, as you can see, beautifully welded in low light conditions. So the A11 Tom Rice model